What's going on there, guys? Good afternoon. It is your Earthmaster here on this Monday. Started the work week, April 25th, 2022, about 12:05 p.m. California time, and latest quake shows a 3.0 earthquake here on the Earthquake 3D globe by the EMSC reporting agency over there around the Greece area. Let's go ahead and check out the latest movement here on the map. There's that earthquake in question. 2.2 it looks like there on the map. It was a 3.0. A lot of swarming activity going on here within this little circle where that 3.0 is keyed up. I can see quite a bit of little microquakes kicking up here within this region. Around the Greece area throughout the day today. Let's go ahead and check out the worldwide map here on the EMSC model. Still looking at a cluster of quakes up here along the Japan and the Kuril-Kamchatka Trench with some further movement out through the Indonesia area. I'm going to switch over here to the region of the USGS map here, kind of like keying this one up here a little bit more detailed, right? The EMSC does have some great data coming in, but I'm a little bit more inclined to show the USGS map just due to their nice graphics, right? A little bit of activity up here around the Greenland Sea. Couple fours kicking off here over the last 24 hours, it looks like. Highest one of 4.8 out here just southwest of Greenland. Looks like the USGS is reporting some earthquake activity up here with a 4.2 in the Bulgaria area. And another 4.0, it looks like a couple smaller quakes there in that region. Over the last 7 days of activity. Let's see here, where are we at? Did have that movement up here, of course, at 5.7 up here in the Bosnia area. But these little quakes out here, well inland, kind of away from any major plate boundary. Let's see what we got here. I want to check out historical data in this area, and well, there's not a whole lot. Mostly south towards the plate boundaries down here in the southern part of the area, south of Greece. But directly in this region of Bulgaria, just a couple small handful of quakes there since about 1900. So earthquake activity not super common in this area in terms of anything above 4.0. So a little increase in movement in that region. Compared to historical data, a little bit of activity through Afghanistan and China. Those earthquakes there were from yesterday, so getting ready to drop off the map. One earthquake way up here in the northern part of Russia, 4.4 at 10 kilometers. And there's some of that activity right here in the Kuril-Kamchatka Trench, where we're seeing 5.2 yesterday and a 4.3, it looks like, earlier this morning. So still, even with the EMSC model, still showing a little bit of activity here in that area of the Pacific Ring of Fire. Pretty quiet throughout the Indonesia region here, at least through the Java Trench. Not seeing a whole lot of earthquake activity today. I've been kind of watching this area pretty closely in terms of looking at possibly the next big earthquake in this region. Of course, over the last 30 days, we did see quite a bit of movement here in this area, right? There's no doubt this area is very seismically active, including quite a few earthquakes above the 4.0 threshold. And I believe we had I think we had at least one 6-pointer, right? Maybe it's been over a month already. Let's see here. 5.9. Yeah, maybe it's been, I think it's been over 30 days. Okay. So a couple areas I was watching here. Let's see if I can find that map. Looks like I squashed it out here. I kind of want to go back over and look at this area of the Java Trench. The reason being is because this area is a major accumulator of seismic stress in this region. Kind of want to go back here and show you guys. We'll go, let's go 7.5 and above. And just for fun, I type in the date of 1400. And we'll draw a little area here on the map and check out the movement here in this region historically from the USGS catalog of the Java Trench area. Of course, this is going to include that 9.1 occurred back in 2004, right? I think it was 2004 up here in this area. So these are all 7.5 earthquakes and above, historically speaking. There's that 9.1 that struck 2004. kind of the northern end of the Java Trench. So you look at this activity up here. We're just going to zoom in on this region here where we've seen that 9-pointer struck. Since 2004, we've definitely seen some larger quakes. 2005, 2010 was the last 7.8 earthquake here in this region. Now this area that does see quite a bit of accumulated stress here on a yearly basis. We're looking at about 60 mm per year, 67 mm per year further south here. Not as significant as, for example, the Philippine Trench over here, which we've been looking at quite a bit of movement here recently. That's got 84 mm per year. But this area is definitely an area to watch for this high rate of slip. Let's go back over here. So it's been a little while since we've had any major ruptures up here on the northern end, and there's a couple other areas here that we're watching that have been really quiet, historically speaking, in terms of anything 7.5 and above. It includes areas here, just here within this region where these two earthquakes struck. So it looks like the 7.7 back in 2006, and a couple smaller, I shouldn't say too small, right? A couple upper 7s within this region since about 2006 to 1994, 1921. So I think this area is pretty well primed, folks. These little areas of that really lack any, the ones that have space right here. That's kind of lacking the fill-in quake, so to speak. Got to watch that pretty closely here. Someone was pointing out, of course, this area right here is where you do have the Krakatoa volcano, right, within this region. Not showing anything popping up there on the map today. But one thing you want to look at, let's go back here to the all magnitudes. Oh, no, one thing I was going to show you guys is someone stated here in the chat that there's some issues going on here with a data buoy out here in the Java Trench. For one, this is not anywhere near the Java Trench. We're looking at hundreds of miles away from the Java Trench here, where this buoy is kind of in event mode. This is kind of what we look for when it comes to like a tsunami or any type of wave abnormal conditions out there. And so this station right here is kind of giving us a instrument reading error. Let me bring it up here. See these little dips? These little dips here in this normal chart, and these are meters. Okay, look at this last little dip here. We're looking at almost 100 meters. You guys know how many feet that is? That let me see what that is. That's going to be 328. 328 feet. So think about this for a second. If that was actually going on down here, that much of a rise in the ocean floor, we would be looking at other significant movement showing up on distant stations, and not to mention a large tsunami that would be being produced. So you got to think in common sense here. Is this accurate? Is this really what's going on at the sea floor? 328 feet of uplift? We'd be talking about a tsunami everywhere. So you got to look at these little things. I've seen a couple channels out here on YouTube spreading the fear, and got to look at that. It's not anywhere on any of these stations right here. Here's another one. We're not seeing any abnormal wave water column height at this local nearby buoy. Nada. So I had to put that to rest because it's not true, folks. I mean, just because somebody says it here on YouTube, right? You got to look and refresh, look at the data, look at the facts, and think for a second. 100 meters. 100 meters, 328 feet uplift, right? Not possible. So I don't know what's going on out there with this one, but probably definitely somebody needs to get out there and check it out and see what's going on. And again, it's ways away from the trench, talking hundreds of miles here. So I try to provide facts here on this channel, folks. I don't like to fearmonger at all. And when I see facts, I point them out, and it is what it is. There's nothing showing up anywhere throughout any of these stations, although these are mostly offline. But think about 328 feet, right? We'd be looking at a massive tsunami. All other data stations out here looking in operation mode, folks. No worldwide tsunami from the 328-foot uplift of the floor. The ocean floor. Let's see what else we got here. So zooming around here, let's go ahead, and I had to point that out. I seen this and I was looking at it. Somebody commented here in chat, looked it up on YouTube. Quite a few folks, well, one or two folks fear-mongering on that aspect, but it's not there, folks. It's not. Facts. West Coast, what do we got going on out here along the Southern California region? Some activity along the San Jacinto Fault Zone. San Andreas Fault looks pretty quiet. No major swarmings that I can see here in Southern California. And looks like a Ridgecrest area filling in. A little bit of quakes here within the last hour. A couple one-pointers and some smaller microquakes here up and down the board. Overall, nothing major sticking out here on the map. Couple earthquakes up here at the southern end of the Cascadia, pretty deep. Both of these quakes here into the southern end of the Cascadia subduction zone. The tremor map from yesterday showed some further movement here at the southern part of Oregon. About 50 epicenters of tremor along that area of the Cascadia subduction zone. I looked at the volcanic seismic map here of the Mount St. Helens area once again, and it looks like we're still seeing a little bit of earthquake activity. And it's definitely not fear-mongering on my part, because I'm showing you guys the raw data. The raw data is not going to lie. But these guys are not showing any of the quakes that are taking place here at Mount St. Helens. In fact, their last earthquake was from about 4 days ago. So let's go ahead and check out the, in case you missed the update last night, seismograph viewer here at the Mount St. Helens Dome area. It's called Dome, STA, Dome Station, I'm guessing. Here's some movement over the last couple hours. You see some well-defined quakes. And this one here within the last 30 minutes or so. That one's got to be at least a one-pointer. Some smaller ones under the 1.0 threshold. And a couple throughout the night, last night. And even these little bitty ones, folks, are little microquakes as well. They look smaller on this map compared to yesterday's map because of the instrument reading here. As far as like the size goes, you would have to... well, I can't do it here on this end, but when they adjust their sensitivity and whatnot, it tends to look something like this, right? The lines get a little bit more bigger, and these quakes get a little bit more prominent and seen, and you know, kind of like being able to count them a little bit easier. So this was from yesterday and early this morning, or yesterday morning and yesterday afternoon, part of the evening as well. But there was quite a few quakes here at Mount St. Helens. And these are all microquakes. Nothing big, nothing. I think most of these are definitely below the 1.0 threshold, probably below the 0.5. But needless to say, there's definitely a pretty good swarm of activity kicking up in the microquake department, which is still earthquake activity at Mount St. Helens today. Like I say, this one here, it's got to be a 1. It's definitely standing out there. And that one occurring here within just about half an hour or so ago. But nothing being reported here from the USGS or the PNSN network. And that's kind of why I'm providing it here on this channel for you guys to view. And you guys can check out all this activity yourself at the pnsn.org website /tremor. And then there's a array of products you can look at. You can look at spectrograms. You can look at near real-time data. You can get alarms and notifications, early warning systems. Everything's on here that you would look for in terms of monitoring earthquake activity, including volcanic activity, and that would include harmonic tremor, which is not occurring at any of the volcanoes that I can tell throughout the Cascades. All right, Pacific Northwest, earthquake activity at the surface, a little bit of movement, looks like around Mount Rainier as well, up around Seattle. Looking at the Intermountain West regions, including areas of Idaho. Got a couple 2s kicking up here around Stanley, Idaho, at the northern end of the Sawtooth Fault Zone. This zone right here definitely capable of producing a mid-6. Of course, this area did see a, I think it was a 6-pointer here, 6.2, 6.3 back in 2019. So still aftershock sequences there in that area of Idaho. Yellowstone National Park. Looks like the USGS reporting a couple quakes here. Everything under 1.0. Let's go ahead and check out the Yellowstone overview and see what we got cooking out here. Looks like nothing major. The seismic activity that I'm seeing and that they're taking note of is going to be this very small microquake activity, again below the 1.0 threshold, and just a handful of them there at the northwest corner of the park. None of these making any significant impact on any other seismograph station, so very small earthquakes occurring there. No major swarms. Southern Plains pretty quiet. Just a couple earthquakes outside OKC, and up above Stillwater area, it looks like. West Texas, though, has gone quiet. Look at this. Normally we see at least a couple earthquakes out here in the gas and oil fields, but today it's quiet, very quiet. Eastern part of the country, including the New Madrid zone, quiet as well. Puerto Rico, zooming in here a little bit, looks like it's picking up a tad bit here on the southwestern edge of Puerto Rico. A couple earthquakes up here around the Puerto Rico Trench as well, and things kind of tapering off here off the coast here into the Middle America Trench, where we seen that activity over the last 7 days really ramp up here, including that, what was it, 6.7 that kicked off here. Since then, we're still looking at some aftershock sequences there of 4 and 5, although it is tapering down a little bit with just one aftershock sequence there in the Middle America Trench. South America region, quiet as well. Couple earthquakes into the Peru Chile Trench with some mid-4s, but overall no major movement at the Peru Chile Trench to report. South Sandwich Islands did see one earthquake last night with a 4.9, 114 kilometers into the trench area. So starting to build back the accumulated stress rate here, and the region upstream up into the where the subduction begins. They're probably starting to build up some energy there once again. All right, folks, what else we got? Yellowstone, we checked that out. Let's go ahead and check out solar weather activity. We did see some movement kick up following the update last night, including a couple low-grade M flares. Looks like it was trying again within the last couple hours. Only got up to a C flare. Looks like a upper C flare that kicked off right here. Almost M, but if you notice, we're starting to get a little crackling and popping going on with these random flares kicking off here. So we could be looking at an uptick in solar weather activity in the coming days. Most of it is coming from Sunspot 2993 with the dynamics it's got. All these other flares, these sunspots look pretty stable, folks. But then again, it could definitely change. But I think for now, the main threat, 2993, it looks like, as massive as these other ones are, the dynamics are just not there for any huge flaring. 95% chance of a C flare from these folks. M flare at 40% chance, X flare down to 10%. So unless we get some intermixing there of the dynamics of the magnetic fields of each sunspot, then we're not going to be looking at anything major going on. So, all right, folks, I'm going to jump off here. We'll be back later tonight. Once again, updates are moving from 6 p.m. California time to 7 p.m. West Coast time. That's going to be 10 o'clock Eastern time due to, well, the tremor map. I like to include my tremor map updates in my nightly update videos, and they've moved it from their updating time, which is normally 6 my time, to 7. So I kind of like to pay attention to what's going on in the tremor. It's a big part of West Coast activity. So we'll be doing the updates now around 7 p.m. or just shortly after. All right, guys, have yourself a wonderful afternoon. Enjoy the, well, hopefully you guys got beautiful sunshine where you're at. It's supposed to be about 84 here in California. And no rain in sight, unfortunately. It is what it is. So have a good day, guys. We'll chat at you a little bit later tonight. Peace out.